Today, we will discuss the bank reconciliation process for NetSuite users. Do you find your current NetSuite bank reconciliation process tedious and time-consuming? Are you experiencing difficulties automating the upload of your bank data into NetSuite? And once you have that bank data, do you find yourself manually matching a significant number of transactions or manually posting the reported cash activity? If you answered yes to any of these questions, keep listening. My name is Carol Darcy. I'm a Senior Manager and Solution Specialist here at Nolan and will be your presenter for the next 30 minutes or so. First, let's talk a little bit about Nolan Business Solutions and who we are as an organization. We've been a NetSuite solution provider since 2006, both as implementation consultants and Suite Cloud developer. Our recent 5-star partner award acknowledges our deep commitment to the NetSuite community and our ability to deliver creative solutions that enhances your NetSuite user experience. We have worldwide presence, our corporate office in the UK, North American office in Boulder, Colorado, and also have remote presence in Australia and Canada. First, let's talk a little bit about our Suite app story, which started with the design and development of the fixed asset module that was later acquired by NetSuite. Although we cannot vouch for the subsequent updates to this module, I like to point this out, as to me, it speaks volume about the quality of our development and strict adherence to NetSuite development standards. We then went on to develop superior electronic payments and advanced bank reconciliation functionality, which will be the topic of our video today. Our team of seasoned certified NetSuite consultant also offers consulting services in multiple areas of expertise. Let's talk about Nolan's Advanced Bank Reconciliation Suite app. Nolan's Advanced Bank Reconciliation can not only facilitate the reconciliation of bank accounts, but also credit card merchant gateways such as Amazon, PayPal, and corporate credit cards like Amex. Although NetSuite has a native offering for bank reconciliation, Nolan ABR offers many features that can help you streamline this tedious and time-consuming task even further. Starting with the import of your bank data, Nolan ABR has flexible and user-definable import options, including the ability to automatically upload your transactions directly from your bank. Some of our enhanced auto match features include support for multiple and combined matching criteria, priority levels, amount tolerance, and grouping rules. If you're looking for ways to auto post recurring type transactions such as bank fees, automated fund transfers, or even auto post of customer payments debited directly to your bank account, Nolan ABR can support this using journal templates. Our journal templates support posting to GL custom segments as well as advanced intercompany journals. We're no strangers to supporting high volume of transactions either, and with process automation tools like our reconciliation wizard, you can save hours of reconciliation work every day or every month. Last but not least, our product design delivers better audit trail of your reconciliation process, which in turn provides you with enhanced safe searches and reporting capabilities. Our product demonstration here in a moment will highlight these features for you today. Let's talk a little bit about the advanced bank reconciliation process. Everything starts with the extraction of our GL transaction onto our reconcile screen for the period of time that we want to reconcile. Alongside with that, we import your banking activity from your bank with your bank connectivity. Then we go through a process of auto matching transactions for you, auto posting recurring type transactions, completing some final adjustments to get you to that daily reconciled position as quickly as possible. NetSuite, I want to talk a little bit about importing bank transactions. So NetSuite has a few automated bank feed options, but users report many challenges importing with these bank feed suite apps, especially when needing to complete a daily reconciliation of the banking activity. We heard feedback including that bank connection are often unstable, limited support, and lengthy response time to address connectivity issues. and that the uploaded bank data often misses the level of details for effective matching and posting of transactions. With Nolan ABR, you have the flexibility of also including the Statement Direct module that leverages our Nolan Cloud Services platform and offers you a stable, reliable, and fully supported bank connection. Let's explore that further a little bit. So when you think about it, we're kind of dealing with three environments. We've got our bank, our financial institution, we've got our Nolan Cloud Services platform in the middle, and ultimately your Oracle NetSuite environment on the right-hand side here. With Statement Direct and Nolan Cloud Services as an integration agent, we have the ability to securely connect to your bank server through an SFTP connection using a variety of credentials supported by most, if not all, banks. This allows us to securely retrieve a BAI file of your activity. Typically, for most banks, this service is a previous day BAI file, allowing us to pull that activity daily into our Nolan Cloud Services platform, where the information is parsed and gathered. Then a subsequent connection, authentication-based for proper security as well, between your Oracle NetSuite environment and our Nolan Cloud Services platform will facilitate the transmission of that bank data as an ABR statement inside of NetSuite. Worth mentioning here, although we're talking about how this all works in the back end, it is a fully automated process that runs on a scheduled basis and requires no user intervention on your side. So let's proceed with a little bit of a product demonstration and show you how that all comes together. So we're going to go ahead and initiate our connection to NetSuite. So as a native Suite app, when our Suite bundle is installed, you will notice an additional center tab in your NetSuite environment labeled ABR, and that's where the advanced bank reconciliation function can be completed out of, including some setup for matching rules and templates that we're going to talk about in a moment, and our one screen process, the reconcile window. So we're going to go ahead and open that up. So today, for demo purposes, we're going to work with Carol's operating account that is associated with a GL NetSuite account. So in our summary section here, we're seeing the GL ending balance being compared to our bank statement ending balance that is automatically calculated based on our bank feed import. So there is no need to manually input that balance. As far as we're concerned, if we're importing accurate and complete data from your bank, that balance is automatically calculated for you. Nice side-by-side view of your NetSuite transaction on the left-hand side to our bank statement transaction on the right-hand side. If the bank statement is automatically uploaded, if that daily activity is uploaded through the Nolan Cloud Services, essentially every time you come to this screen, you can be rest assured that you've got the most recent banking activity already uploaded on your window. So we got the typical operating account here with some bill payments, customer payments, and we got some banking activity. That some of it is already recorded in NetSuite, so we're going to go through a process of matching it. And then for the activity that is not recorded in NetSuite yet, we're going to talk about auto posting capabilities as a second step. So let's proceed with auto matching first. So we're going to go ahead and auto match our transaction. The Nolan ABR process currently goes through every single bank transaction on the right-hand side and finds a corresponding record on the NetSuite side based on the number of matching rules. So let's just have a quick peek at that. For Carol's operating account, I have a number of matching rules that are established based on our bank transaction activity type. Based on a BAI code of 475, which relates to checks, let's just review quickly what a basic matching rule can look like. So there are a number of matching criteria that can be leveraged individually or combined to ensure proper matching of your transaction on the NetSuite side. We can take a look, we can do a comparison of the transaction amounts, dates, document numbers, and reference or description. Some of the additional features or advanced features you get with Nolan, we have a concept of tolerance amount. So not only can we match exact amount, but we can also facilitate tolerance amount to support variances up to a certain dollar value or percentage value. Two example comes to mind here. This will allow you to automatically handle what you would consider immaterial differences. So if all other matching criteria matches and we simply have a slight difference in an amount by less than $1 in this case, we obviously want ABR to automatically handle that, because who wants to do that manual work? Another great example would be the tolerance percentage that can be used as a way to automate the posting of bank fees or credit card merchant fees. This tolerance, so if you find yourself seeing the bank or the credit card merchant automatically taking a 2% or a 3% cut on a certain type of transaction, this is exactly what could facilitate an auto posting of that difference. Document amounts can be exact matches, but also has some flexibility with start with and contains. So you can see that there's some additional matching features on the basic matching elements that Nolan can provide. Additionally, using a concept of priority levels and NetSuite transaction types, we can come up with a fairly complex matching hierarchy for various NetSuite transaction types. So perhaps on the bank side, a cash receipt is a cash receipt, but on the NetSuite side, the rules could be quite different, whether that cash receipt is a cash sale or a customer payment. So we can have multiple rules layered on top of one another to also ensure proper matching of transactions. Last but not least is our grouping feature, which is very handy to facilitate matching of many to one and one to many transactions. So I'm going to show you an example here. Here's an example of multiple matching rules for the same transaction type. Talking about that a little bit, and then I'm going to drill into an example here that will be demonstrated where multiple NetSuite lines that are recorded individually in NetSuite, customer payments in this case, are then deposited into a complete amount on the a consolidated amount on the bank side. So I'm able to provide rules to ABR to facilitate grouping, not only based on document number, but on other data fields as well, including memo, entity name, and dates. So all of these data fields can be leveraged to facilitate that grouping of multiple transactions to a one consolidated deposit or withdrawal on the bank side. Now, grouping can also be facilitated on the bank side should you have a need for that. So let's just kind of see the end result of these matching rules here. Out of 24 bank transactions, 17 matches were found. Now, ABR automatically assumes that those matches are correct and is waiting for the next step. Hence why the display by default here is the remaining unmatched transactions. We're going to come back to that in a minute, but I want to show you the list of matched transactions and how we actually complete that task. So I'm going to do a sort here by match ID, and that's actually what I'm going to talk about first. So every single match that we do, we assign a sequential unique match ID to it. So the reason for that, for a couple of reasons for that actually, it's a great audit trail so that 6 months down the road, should you be looking at your bank reconciliation reports or information inside of NetSuite and inquire about, let's use Monica Parker's payment as an example. Not only will you see a checkbox identifying that a transaction has cleared the bank, which is what native NetSuite does, we actually associate to every NetSuite transaction what we call an ABR reconciliation state record. So behind the scenes here for this payment, customer payment, we are tracking all the reconciliation status of that NetSuite transaction, including a match ID. Now this match ID 5935, you can see it being repeated with 3 other transactions. So this is also a great grouping example. So we had multiple customer payments recorded individually in NetSuite, carrying the same deposit number in our memo field, allowing us to create a rule that where these individual transactions are now grouped into a consolidated amount and matches to the corresponding deposit on the bank side. Notice that all the transactions that I'm currently highlighting with the checkbox, which by the way, I'm just doing this for visual purposes. These transactions are already matched and has the same match ID number that we can see here. So everything is matched together. So from an audit trail standpoint, I can later down the road look at Monica Parker's payment, find the corresponding match ID, and then be able to associate on the bank side which transaction, which bank statement and when it actually cleared the bank. That's also great for reporting purposes because with Nolan ABR, we also keep the bank data as a custom record inside of NetSuite. So all the bank data that you import into NetSuite will be kept for historical and reporting purposes as well, instead of disappearing after the matching process. So now let's go ahead and talk a little bit, just highlight a couple more things. So here's another grouping example where we got individual vendor payments that have a corresponding batch or file name into the transaction number, allowing us to set up a logical rule where these vendor payments are grouped together for not a single withdrawal in this case, but 2 ACH settlement. But again, because of the common denominator here in the transaction number, I was able to facilitate grouping of these transactions on the bank side as well. Last but not least, for matching rules, here's the tolerance example where we had a check clear the bank for a slightly different amount. We can see that it's most likely just a penny transposition. So that supports the idea that insignificant differences should automatically be handled by ABR. And this is exactly what happened with my rule, where I've specified that up to $1 difference, if everything else matches, please go ahead, match the items, and process a small journal adjustment based on a template. So we basically also in the matching rule define a journal template, like what that journal needs to look like and where does it need to post. So that's actually that's a great segue into that topic. So how do we auto post transactions now? How do we create these journals automatically? So once we are satisfied with the list of matched transactions, we switch to what's left to unmatch. And we have a number of transactions here, including recurring transactions like bank fees, sweep transfers between bank accounts, perhaps even a customer payment that is automatically debited into your bank account on a regular basis. Those are all great examples of things that you want to automatically, you want ABR, you want your bank reconciliation module to automatically post to NetSuite. So we're going to initiate the auto generate process here, which will see all templates associated with these transactions automatically post according to that journal template definition. So let's initiate that. And in the meantime, we will go see what these templates look like. So here's a list of AutoGen template for Carol's operating account. We can see things like those automated sweep transfers to the main account, customer payment, bank fees that we were alluding to a minute ago. Let's take a look at bank fees as an example, simple example. So what we can do with our template, there's also a bit of a matching type concept here where you can assign the proper matching rule for ABR to identify the specific recurring transaction that you want to post. Now that can be super granular. You can, have all the data field defined and required to identify the transaction, from the transaction type to a description that is exactly start with or contains in our description field. Maybe you're looking for a specific transaction number, even more so a specific amount or a day of the month. So you can see that you could be looking for that one transaction that keeps recurring on your bank statement. You can leave it a little bit more open, which is more what you're seeing here, where we're just looking, as long as it's 698 and it makes a reference to fees in the description, here's what I want to see. So this is where you actually define that journal template here. As a standard journal entry, it's fairly simple. The additional elements to be entered would be the other side of the posting, so cash being one side, bank service charges being the other side of my entry. I can include transaction memos that pulls the description straight from the bank statement, as an example here, and do whatever other association I need to do with department, class, or location. Additional posting types we support: customer payments, as well as advanced intercompany journals that will make sure that if you have a transaction that needs to hit multiple subsidiaries, all the due to, do from accounting is also taken care of. When it comes to customer payments, we can do some entity search and allocation to make sure that the cash receipt is created against the proper customer account and also applied to the correct invoices. And we also support sourcing of custom fields. So if in your environment you are posting journals that includes additional fields on your journal that needs to also be populated when doing the bank rec, through our field sourcing here, that's when we can start playing with your custom data fields as well. So as you can see, a lot more flexibility with the Nolan's template to auto post bank transactions. So let's see the end result of that here. So 5 records, as expected, were processed, leaving us with very little on here. Let's go back to our list of match transaction. We're going to sort by match ID and see how our bank fees, customer payment, and sweep transfers were automatically handled through our journal templates. Now, hopefully, the idea is with our complex matching rules, auto posting capability, you're handling a very high percentage of your bank data automatically. What's left then as a user when you come on this screen are a few items that perhaps require further investigation because they didn't match any of those rules. So the example we have here, we do have a check that was purposely, in this case, recorded in NetSuite with an incorrect check number to kind of demonstrate that the rule does work, and the mere fact that the amount was the same wasn't enough to proceed with the match because my rules stated that the document number needed to be the same, which is not the case. Upon further investigation and taking action as to why this number is incorrect, we can make the adjustment in the GL if we need to, and then we can manually proceed with the matching. So there's always a way to manually match and unmatch items for those few exceptions you're going to need to deal with. Little cash deposit here upon further investigation is kind of a one-time cash transaction. Don't need to create a journal for that, but I want to be able to effectively process and update to NetSuite. So right on our reconcile window, once again, we can create standard journals or advanced intercompany journals. And upon selecting the one transaction or multiple at a time, we can click on create journal adjustment, which will bring up our journal entry window. We will call out your journal template, which is fairly important if you have custom fields or custom segments that needs to be populated. So giving you the ability to enter your journal right then and there using your form. It will be pre-populated with most data fields, including the bank account, whether a debit or credit is required, leaving you with the simple step of indicating the other side of the entry. Save the journal. Now NetSuite is updated and so is my bank rec, because we not only create the journal, but we will update the reconciliation process and do the matching between the newly created journal entry and that bank statement line, leaving us with nothing left here on the bank statement side, where at the end of that day, I can simply leave the bank reconciliation as is and continue with the data that will get uploaded tomorrow. Or if I want to proceed with a full reconcile, I can do that right away, or I can wait at the end of the month and do a full reconcile at that moment in time. By hitting the reconcile button now, it's taking all the matching transaction and moving them to a status of reconciled. Couple quick things I'm going to highlight, and for today is our reconciliation wizard. So that is another great advanced feature of our product, allowing you to go through the reconciliation process, the process of matching, auto posting, not only one account at a time, but you have the ability to initiate the process for multiple bank accounts at a time. So if you have a large volume of bank accounts, we can import all data for all bank accounts, extract that information, auto match, auto post, and do that all behind the scenes. So by the time you come to your reconcile window for each individual account, you can really handle just the variances at that point in time. So we're really, really big on trying to fully automate the process for you. So just in summary here, these are kind of the key points that differentiate our tool to the native bank reconciliation in NetSuite. Again, providing some advanced capabilities in multiple areas, including import, matching, auto post, and full automation of multiple bank accounts and large volumes of transaction. If you would like more information or schedule an individual demo, feel free to visit our website or contact us sales team at the numbers currently on your screen.